Hi guys, just about 5 here. 5 o'clock now. And look at that, 74 degrees. Yay! Today was awesome. Yesterday was awesome here for my Rochester people. Hope you all enjoyed the nice weather. Hey guys, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. I hope it's happy for everybody. All right, guys, if you're just joining in tonight, drop me a hello. Drop me something good that's happening to you today. Good part of the day. Always want to hear good stuff. I'm going to wait just a few more minutes here before I start talking about supplements. Always a fun subject and a pretty popular subject, which is kind of funny given the advice I'm going to give you guys today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. When it comes to supplementation, I think we can get very caught up in the hype of supplementation. There's a lot of it out there, right? So everywhere you go, there's, you can take this, you can take that for this type of result, that type of thing, and it can get very overwhelming. So I kind of want to just kind of break some of that down a little bit more for you today and maybe think about things a little bit differently than just being bombarded with constant products and things to take, depending on why you're looking to take something. So first, supplementation should be looked at as kind of, I almost want to say last resort. So if you are somebody that's hitting all the pillars, right? So I talk about hitting pillars a lot, or hitting foundational markers. So things like drinking your water, taking 10,000 steps per day, just throwing that number out there, but a certain amount of steps per day, being active, exercising, sleeping well, managing your stress. All of these things are kind of our basics. And a lot of times I think they get skipped over, and people will rush right to kind of like just taking something because something's not working properly in your body, maybe, or you're looking for a certain result, right? So I would zoom back a little bit and say, maybe we need to look at this as supplements come like at the last. I did a training a few weeks back, actually probably a few months back now, where I did like kind of hierarchy of fitness or nutrition, and supplements was kind of the last piece of when you are going to start to bring them into the picture. So this is very dependent on each person, though. So I'm saying this, but I'm talking in big generalities. So maybe like somebody might be a person that starts taking supplements, and then it leads to better habits because they started doing this on a regular basis. That could be an option as well. So I'm not discounting that at all. But for my people that are jumping right to it, and then they're asking like, I'm not seeing any results, and then you dig in a little bit deeper. They're not really truly hitting their water. They're not being active. They're just expecting a result from the supplement. And so we can't use it as a crutch, right? It's just an add-on. And I'll get into kind of two different categories of supplementation in just a minute. I loved this analogy. I heard this on a podcast. I got to give credit to Mind Pump. Those guys always talk so well and articulate well. And I love their analogy of, if you have a broken down car, let's say your tires are all flat, and you go to, add a spoiler onto your car instead of fixing the tires. That's the exact same thing as just adding supplements in without all the basics, without all the pillars, right? We're skipping a few steps. Car's still not going to work right if we're just throwing a spoiler on it to make it look cool. So I love that analogy, and it's a good way to think about it. Another thing to think about is I heard this statistic a few weeks back at a conference I was at, and the gentleman was talking about habits. Oh, I think I lost connection. Hopefully I'm back. And creating sustainable habits. And supplementation is just another habit we're going to add in. So if you're looking at it, think about kind of like, how long am I going to be taking this? Is this just a temporary thing because I can't, let's say, eat enough green vegetables, or my energy is just low, I need something to perk me up, or like whatever the reason that you're coming up with to take supplements, think about that in the long term. The statistic that I was referencing was that nearly half of people prescribed to chronic medications, meaning they have to take them kind of forever, half of these people don't stick to that. They don't adhere. So if we're not even taking prescription medications properly, chances are good we may not be able to stick to a supplement regimen as well. So again, and that's something that you're purchasing, and it's an expense. So take a look at that as kind of like, is this really worth it? The money that I'm putting into it, supplements don't take a lot of time if you remember to take them. But bottom line, if you're going to, try the supplement route, kind of think about where you are in your journey and if that's really needed. And so that brings me to our next kind of point of separating supplements into two categories. I like to think about the supplements that are necessary to fill a void or a deficiency. So a lot of times, even doctors might recommend certain supplements to you, like vitamins, certain things that you might be missing from your diet. I always, always, always say try to go to food first, real whole foods. That's king when it comes to your health and getting results. But if that's just not happening, then you can start to look at things that can supplement. So for example, a multivitamin, I'm going to give you my top 3 that I pretty much take every day because I'm not getting enough in from food. And that's a multivitamin. Second one would be an omega-3 fish oil. So I'm not really a seafood fish type person, but I know the benefits that type of food can bring. So I'm supplementing with the omega-3s for that. And then protein powder is the third one. So protein. Man, I can't stress the importance of that macronutrient. Talk about it all the time on these trainings, and here it is again. And it's very, very common, especially women. We do not have enough protein in our diets, and that can really cause some trouble. Not just body composition wise, but just hormonally, protein plays a pretty big role in how your body functions. So protein powder, I know a lot of people just, whether it's the protein coming from a meat source or a dairy source, it's a lot sometimes to meet your required amounts. And sometimes it's, hard to get it in because it's not convenient. You have to cook it, you have to prepare it, and you have to plan it. So sometimes I will recommend a protein powder out to my clients because they're just struggling to hit their targets. Protein powder, I would love to say, should not be like an everyday staple. However, if that's what it takes, to help push you in the right direction, maybe it is a staple for a while until you can start to build in the foods that you need. Again, thinking about how often you want to take protein, and hopefully you can start to build in better habits as you go through, because you're starting to feel better, you're starting to look different, you're gaining a little more muscle mass and feeling tighter because you're eating your protein. And so that leads to just better overall habits. All right. Now, the second category of supplementation, I like to kind of put a red flag on these. And you've probably seen ads and been bombarded, with ads on these types of supplements that kind of make me cringe a little bit, where they kind of claim that they're going to have a specific result for you. So whether that's muscle gain or it's going to melt body fat, kind of brings upon some red flags for me. So body or fat burners, these types of things, a lot of it isn't really necessary. Usually fat burners rely heavily on caffeine for that thermic effect and can make you feel really like garbage. And again, are you going to take these fat burners for life? Probably not. So I wouldn't even bother with something like that. It's, again, I think it's kind of a waste of money to go that route. However, I will say, and this is again thanks to I'm referencing the podcast that I listen to. These guys always reference and talk about creatine as a supplement, and that I personally have used creatine. It's okay for most people to take. It started with a lot of athletes, bodybuilders, and now it's really more kind of general public that can take or are taking creatine. And it is, I would say, in the category of improving body composition because it helps to improve strength and it helps you to recover quicker from your workouts, meaning you can start again and your workout is that much better the next time you go to work out because you're recovered better, and helps increase lean mass, which we know helps you burn calories at rest, yada yada yada. So I would say if you're looking into creatine, that would be probably a good suggestion. And types of creatine and types of these supplements that I'm recommending to you, you can always shoot me a message if you need a specific brand or some suggestions in that realm. A lot of times we just don't know, like, is this any good? I don't know who's making this. I don't know the company is credible, truthfully, and that's a good way to be thinking about it because anybody can come up with a supplement line. It's kind of scary, actually. So do your research. You can always send me a message, like I said, if you're not sure or if you need like just another pair of eyes, or I can always reach out to my coaching groups and see what people are recommending and what's actually good quality ingredients. And I also am part of a company that I love their vitamin line. We do more of like a powder that you mix with water and it's drinkable. So that's oftentimes preferred over taking a pill when it comes to vitamins, and it's absorbed a lot better and quicker into the body. So you get a lot from it. All right, so hopefully those two categories kind of resonate with you guys. And if you're not sure if you're deficient in something, I would suggest, I mean, you can always talk to your doctor about that. Take blood work if you really think you are deficient in any specific vitamin or even protein. Like I said, protein deficiency is huge. I think it's more relevant than we are aware of, and it is the number one thing I work on with my clients. And it's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to eat all your protein, but it is worth it. And like I said, another way, if you are, maybe you have talked to your doctor and they've given you some suggestions, you could also food track. So we've talked about that a lot on the trainings here as well, food tracking. Hey, Liz. And that is just another tool. So we look at some of the past, things we normally eat on a daily basis. I need a cow. Yeah, I'm telling you, protein, man. And you can start to see some holes or some voids in your diet that maybe you weren't aware of, but just by tracking you can look back and say, okay, I am definitely not getting enough protein. Or if you're not sure, again, reach out and you can send me your food tracking and I can kind of look it over very quickly and give you recommendations. Again, I am not a doctor. I don't prescribe supplements. And I don't diagnose anything at all or claim that it will help with any kind of disease or illness or anything like that. But I certainly have received a lot of questions and a lot of education on all this. So that's a very broad overview for you guys. Hopefully it helped. And you can always send me messages for questions. All right, so I'm going to leave you guys with, I've been teasing a 21-day challenge in the group here and on my personal page, and I've gotten some pretty good interest in that. So over the next couple of days, you can be on the lookout for that. If you guys are brand new to the page and you've never done a 21-day challenge with us, it is very much habits focused. So we're not doing anything super extreme. We're not doing any crazy diets. We are simply going in the route of long-term pillars and habits that I want you guys to be focusing on, right? Just like I talked about with the supplementation, we're looking at all those pillars: water, sleep, stress. And if you just need help kind of like honing in on some of those things, that's what these challenges are great for. Maybe you lost your way and you just need a little like shove in the right direction. You know what to do. You just are kind of like not really following anything. This would be a great opportunity. And it's a great way to kind of get the first piece of what the one-on-one coaching would look like with me. So it's kind of a nice little introductory thing into seeing what coaching is like. So with that, I'm looking at the dates of May 8th to the 29th to start our 21-day challenge. And I will have full details on what the pillars and how you can win. Usually we just do a transformation. So a transformation across the board is what our winners usually get, is just a better, not only weight loss, but mentally they're coming out from the 21 days in a better spot, and physically obviously as well. And that person is going to win $500. So keep that in mind. And I'll have a sign up form coming out to you guys soon. If you are interested at all, you can always comment on this video and I will be glad to talk it over some more with you if you're like hesitant or you're just not sure. But I will have the details out for you so you can read over. All right. With that, I hope you guys have a great night and we'll talk to you soon.